Well, I was a little bit worried about James Harden deciding to go off on Dillon Brooks tonight, considering what Dillon said on the stream, but it looks like James Harden took it personal. Psychos and sickos unite for an all-star snub edition of PHNX Suns pregame show, of course brought to you by our friends over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit PlayedGila.com for more details. If you missed it, we did our instant reactions to Devin Booker being named an all-star, Dillon Brooks being snubbed from the all-star team on this channel, so go ahead and play that while you're watching the game. Tonight, the Phoenix Suns taking on the Los Angeles Clippers for the last time this season after taking a 2-1 series lead in the first month of the season. I'm Eric, that's Skill, we got Espo, and the Freckled Mamba behind the Mac, making all of the magic happen, but none of the magic happens without all of you in chat. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. No watch along for the game today, though. Even if Jalen was playing tonight, we said, nope, can't do that 2 in a row.
I love making magic with the chat. Glad to have y'all here.
All right, you can follow the show at PHNX_Suns, but tonight is a big game, and of course, the big game comes with a big injury report. Let's go ahead and check in with that, of course, presented by our friends over at the Husband and Wife Law Team. If you've had a serious injury, call the Husband and Wife Law Team first at 602-783-8841 or visit their website at husbandandwifelawteam.com. Start with the Suns side of things as we always do. Devin Booker continues to be out with a right ankle sprain. And Jalen Green out with a right hamstring injury management designation and a left hip contusion designation. Now, I have to ask the Freckled Mamba, did you put him and Bradley Beal's name on the same line on the injury report on purpose?
No, I do not resort to the Bradley Beal and Jalen Green comparisons.
And I'm glad that you don't, because as expected, guys, Suns fans are not happy that Jalen's not playing tonight.
We all watched that fall live.
Fell from 5 feet in the air.
I mean, if any of us felt like we'd probably still be in a hospital bed.
I would still be on the ground.
Yeah, come on, that was painful to watch, let alone go through. And the dude
not to he played after. He came back. He played for like what 3-4 more minutes and made a couple shots. Like it wasn't like he didn't. Yeah, I don't know.
The whole comparison is just lazy. It's stupid. It's fraudulent. It's whatever other word you can come up with. Okay, he has never been injured in his career. He's 23. He's had bad luck. Bradley Beal had more miles on those tires than my original car that I drove 95,000 miles before I changed tires. Yeah, it was dumb on my part. Yeah, I went 95,000 miles without changing tires. I didn't know any better.
Don't try that at home.
Right? Yeah, don't. But Bradley Beal had that little tread left on the tires and was already breaking down when he was in Washington. Totally different thing.
I think the big thing too is like there's glass half empty, glass half full. And I think the thing when you talk about how hard of a fall that was, the fact that he escaped that with just a bruise. Like we're not talking here because I mean we watched it last year with Chet Holmgren, a guy who's taller but built pretty similarly to Jalen Green as far as like being a wiry guy, like had a weird rare hip fracture taking a similar fall. So like the fact that it's a bruise and it's something that they think that he's going to be more or less day to day with, I think we should look at the glass half full until we have reason not to. I get the frustration. I get that you're kind of reminded of other things, the familiar feeling, but let's just take it one day at a time, and we'll see him back on the court soon enough.
I'd have a goddamn titanium hip if I had fallen like that.
Well, I mean, and you could clearly see that he was banged up. I have an issue with how people are reacting to this for a couple of reasons. One issue I don't have is like, look, I get it. Like, I am upset that we have not been able to watch Jalen Green play basketball. 100%. It sucks. He hasn't even played like a total of 100 minutes, I would imagine, so
100
far
I
this
was-
season.
I was going 50 might be.
Yeah, like it's been pretty sparse for him. And that sucks. We don't know what this team looks like fully healthy going into the trade deadline this Thursday. We don't know what Jalen Green has grown into or not grown into or how he's developed as a player, but when he has played, it's looked good, which again lends it to be more frustrating when he doesn't play.
I have no. You're right.
And
No
that
problem.
that type of frustration is fine.
Yeah.
It's when, again, the Beal comparison, I think, is lazy and stupid. I've had people in my mention saying that Jalen Green just wants to take a paycheck and sit out, which I think is frankly, like, dumb as hell.
Apparently, they have me confused with Jalen Green.
It's just, it's so stupid because he takes that fall and he gets up and he tries to play through it.
Right.
Like, he's as frustrated as anybody, and I'm sure the team is as frustrated as anybody that we haven't been able to see him on the court. The fact that he bruised his hip. Like, you saw how he was moving out there. He's not just collecting a check. This can suck, but this is completely different than the hamstring. I don't say worried, interested as to why the hamstring designation also popped back up when Jordan Knott said his hamstring came out fine after that last game. But as much as this sucks, the team's still winning. He's obviously trying. The guys like him. If he was ready to go, like some people took, when Dillon said, oh, he's been on leave for some reason, some people was like, Dillon Brooks takes a shot at Jalen Green. I'm just messing around with him.
Yeah.
It's just
Friendly
so
ribbing.
annoying, man.
Especially for a guy that's known him. Like, it wasn't like Dillon Brooks hadn't known Jalen Green for the last few years.
He laughed
either.
when he said it too. Like he
Yeah.
wasn't like, "Oh man, this guy's on leave. He doesn't care about playing." Like, and you said it. Like these guys love playing basketball. Like if they have any chance or any window to be able to play, they're going to do it. But if their body's not going to allow them to play at the level they want to play at, they're not going to do it. And also, there's a training staff of medical professionals that'll save you from yourself a lot of times from not making things worse. So clearly, they're trying to be careful with a guy who is still very young and has his best days ahead of him.
And who would want to be home with his girlfriend and the son that's the same age? You'd rather be out there playing basketball.
Like, well, she's at all the games, so.
But the son's not. So
No. So here's the thing too, is that if he, let's just say that he pushed through it to play, and he got injured again, or he overcompensated, or he looked slow, hobbled, the same people, and I'm not trying to like call people out, but I'm kind of trying to call people out. The same people would be in our mentions, tweeting on the universe, Jalen Green, you bum, you suck, get off my team. Like, the Bradley Beal thing wasn't just that he was injured. It's when he was on the court, he gave us literally nothing. Nothing. Jalen Green, in his 50-ish minutes he's given us this season, has brought more joy to our lives than Bradley Beal brought even at his highest moments. That's just a fact. Nobody was happy with that. Plus, my dad says in the chat, if the team was losing, there'd be a completely different narrative around them. But they're not losing.
or if he was sulking and he wasn't around the team. Like if he was MIA and not out there like cheering on his teammates, being part of this guild, that would be where I would be like, okay, what's going on here? But no, he's there all the time, constantly.
Right, and it's hard to not become detached when you're not able to play. We've seen it happen with guys in the past who, like, if they have extended absences, they just get away from it because they just can't watch and not be a part of it. But he's been eager the entire time and been working diligently. We've seen video of him working pregame. We've seen him on the sideline doing broadcasts, cheering on guys, hyping up guys, being a part of everything. And he wants to be a part of this winning situation. And I think now, like, shifting the focus forward, and the number is 70 minutes exactly. That's how many it's been. The 70 minutes, 70 minutes this year. But I think that the thought process now is just, okay, can you get enough runway? Can you get him to be healthy without setbacks for the last 25 games, 20 games? That's going to be, because this is game 50 tonight. So at this point, can you get him healthy for 20, 25 games? Everybody gets comfortable with one another because there are bigger things at play. The postseason, I think we can say, at some way, shape, form, or fashion is going to be a part of what this team does. So getting him incorporated and acclimated with the rest of these guys is the most important thing at this point.
And he was questionable going into tonight. Not out, not reevaluated in 4 to 6 weeks. I don't know. I don't know if he plays the next game. I think we see him one more time at least before All-Star Weekend, if not a couple of more times beyond that.
Do you think that the other designation with the hamstring is there because of these extremely strict rules?
I think so.
Probably,
with it,
yeah.
where it's like,
Saw it with Mark,
yeah,
right, with the knee.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, look, no Jalen Green tonight. Let's take a look at the Clippers side of the injury report because they are not fully healthy. James Harden out for personal reasons, ruled out earlier today. Again, I'm always going to give the guy the benefit of the doubt, the player the benefit of the doubt with this. We did it with KD earlier in the year. I don't like it when people just are like, they don't care. These guys care about basketball. They want to play basketball. But James Harden out with personal reasons. Shocker, Bradley Beal's out. One of the highest paid players in the Suns tonight is sitting out for the Clippers. Derrick Jones Jr. is out. That's a big one. Another former Sun out with a right knee injury. And Chris Paul is just out the building. Like he's literally out. But no James Harden tonight's the big one.
I'm gonna say it. Is James out because your Sun Devils took the L
I
last
don't
night
think
and
he
watched
cares
it?
that much.
He was there.
He was
He
there.
was
Carried enough to go.
They were debuting his jersey.
I know.
I
Which
think-
is weird. Which is weird to me. Like that's always weird. But
Yeah, look, we don't have to talk about that. Yeah,
no,
Good
but
first half.
it is a big. It is a
story of
big
my life.
a loss for the Clippers in terms of on the court tonight, and hopefully, it's nothing major and everything's fine. But it goes in the Suns' favor, so I'll take it.
Yeah, it does go in the Suns' favor, but Gil, the Clippers are still dangerous. Let's check in with our credit check. Of course, brought to you by our friends over at Mountain America Credit Union, the official credit union of your Phoenix Suns. Let's take a look at the Clippers over the last 20 games, adjusting the sails here, as Steven puts it, which is a great pun. 16-4 over the last 20 games. That is number one in the NBA. 120.6 offensive rating. That is tied for third. 104.2 half-court offensive rating. That's second. 113.3 defensive rating. That's 10th. 95.3 half-court defensive rating. That's 8th. And 24.6 free throw attempts per game. Now, of course, Harden is a big part of that. But, Gil, the Clippers have been playing better, and I don't mean this with any hyperbole, better than any other team in the NBA over the last 20 games.
Absolutely. They've locked in. Kawhi Leonard has been playing in that level that maybe people continue to think that he can't tap back into with all his injury issues, but he continues to remind us that he's still got it. He's still one of the greatest to ever play this game, and I think that's a big part of it. I'm really curious when you talk about this offense and James Harden and what he means to it as a scorer, as a playmaker, another guy who still has so much in the reserve. And him not being around, what does that mean for their bigs? What does that mean for John Collins? What does that mean for Ivica Zubac? I was looking at the numbers. James Harden's assisted on 29.3% of John Collins' field goals this year and over a third of Ivica Zubac's field goals this year. So I'm really curious to see a lot of that offensive efficiency, what it's going to look like if James Harden's not there in the pick and roll. Now a lot of that goes to Chris Dunn. A lot of that goes to Kawhi Leonard. And can they do that enough to sustain that level of excellence that they've shown over the past 20 games?
They've certainly turned it around, and everybody's gonna be like, "Well, Chris Paul." No, that's not it. Kawhi Leonard found prime Kawhi Leonard again, and that's going to be the toughest thing tonight for the Suns. How do you keep him enough in check, and then how do you play against Zubac at center? Like, how do you win that matchup between him and Mark? And I think those two things are going to have a huge impact on how to figure this out tonight. But you're right, without James, how does their offense run? What exactly does it look like? And how do you counter what they're able to do without James defensively, where you can actually, as you saw, you don't want to get into half-court offense with this team. You want to find a way to get out on the break. So how do you force those turnovers and then turn it into easier buckets?
Make them get the bleep back on defense.
Yeah. What shirts are the Clippers going to be wearing tonight? That's the real question. Now, look, Kawhi Leonard's just been playing elite. His numbers for this season are some of the best that we've ever seen from him. 30.5 points per game. That's third in the NBA. Shooting 55.7% from two, 42.6% from deep, 91.1% from the free throw line on a high volume of attempts. That's 7.3 free throw attempts per game. That's nearly top 10, shooting 91.1%. 4.1 three-pointers made in the NBA. That's top 5 in the NBA. Plus 10.6 net rating with him on the court for the Clippers and a 45.1% catch and shoot three-point percentage. Now, that last one is probably not going to be as effective without James Harden here, but Espo, when it comes to Kawhi, not only are his numbers good, but if you watch him, he is one of, if not the best, self-creating isolation scorers walking on this planet right now.
Oh, and the graphic didn't include that he just got snubbed from the All-Star game.
Oof.
So he's going to want to go out there and prove something as well. This is Kawhi at the level that we saw him in Toronto, and at times with the Spurs, he is able to do things out there that other guys just are not on both ends of the floor, and he's extremely dangerous. That's why they've turned it around. That is the number one reason why they're 16-4 in the last 20 is because Kawhi Leonard has become him again. And that is terrifying because when he's on, when he's not injured and he's out there, that is one scary man. And that's why you can't just look at the Clippers and go, oh, they're behind you in the standings. You don't have to worry about them. They're a legit threat to put pressure on you after the All-Star break. And that's why you can't give them a win. That's why you can't take your foot off the gas, because if Kawhi's healthy, they're going to be right there in the mix.
Absolutely. You talk about what he's shown now and showing us what we saw early stages of his career. I think that's what makes it so impressive that this is year 15 for him, and he's had
Really, it's year 9.
That's fair. Well, that's all the load management. but then you add 6 years back, all the injuries he's had. He's probably his knees are probably in year 18. But I'm saying that I'm impressed with what he's doing, given all that he's gone through injury wise. And I think the thing that's been the difference for him, and I think there was a quote about him telling Ty Lue that he was going to try and be more intentional about taking more threes in this span. Then they've been playing so well. He's had games of 5 threes, 6 threes, 5 threes, 7 threes made. And you never really thought of Kawhi Leonard as a guy who could go out and take 16 threes in a game or go 7 of 11 from deep in a game. And it's not that he never had that in his bag, but he was so much going toward that midi. And I don't know if it's less strain on him, but you talk about the catch and shoot threes and he's shooting them at such an efficient clip.
Terrifying.
So it's just something else that you have to worry about with him. And it just shows, again, guys are still adding other wrinkles to their game, even at this stage in their career, and it also adds years to your career.
Yeah. On the standing side of things, like you mentioned, Espo, this is a team that you can't sleep on, and it's hard because you look at it, right? So the Clippers are the 10th seed, the Suns are the 7th seed. Doesn't seem like that far of a separation. The Suns are closer to the 3 seed than they are the 10th seed, right? The Clippers are 7 games behind the Suns. They're 3 games under 500, but they were literally one of the worst teams in the NBA 20 games ago.
They put dirt on them. It was dumb.
Yeah,
6-21. They should have put dirt on them. 6-21.
The fact that they're back at this point, right? And like Kawhi's missed a little bit of time in there as well. Not a lot, but a little bit. You look at this, and tonight determines the tiebreaker between these teams. Not fully, because it would be 2-2. So the Suns have it now. They're up 2-1. If they win tonight, outright tiebreaker against a team that we all expect to continue to turn it up. And if the Suns struggle a bit, face some adversity, face some more injury problems that maybe knock off more games than we could imagine, maybe these teams end up getting close to each other in the standings. And then depending on tiebreakers, maybe the Suns fall a seed. Tonight's pretty important, but how important is it? Let's take a look at the Suns must-win meter. Overall averaging out to a 7.9. Espo's our lowest at a 7. Steven, not the lowest at a 7.5. He's really come around lately. Ayrton and Gill at an 8. I'm at a 9. Espo, why do you not care at all about this game?
I don't care about this team. I found out who's in the All-Star game. I'm good.
It's all that
I'm off until the 19th now. Mentally, we're good. No, I actually thought 7 might be right in the range where everybody is. It's important, but again, you just pulled off 2 upsets nobody thought. You don't have Jalen again. If you lose it, it's not the end of the world, but you want that tiebreaker. You want to keep the Clippers back. I'm 7's important to me. It's just not the epitome of
7.
7.
Yeah, 7's important to you. Gil, you're an 8, which is in between Espo and I, but still pretty high overall in the meter.
Feels like a get greedy out of 10, right? This is the last game of your homestand. You'll be right back later in the week, but I don't think that you come being 3-1 or potentially being 4-1 in this homestand, I think is pretty impressive, especially considering who you faced. And you talked about the challenges that they pose. So that's kind of what I was looking at. It looked really good to be able to go 4-1 on this homestand, take advantage of a team that is without their top creator and build more momentum to kind of keep going forward to go 12 games over 500. So I think all of those things made this pretty important to me.
Yeah, this is a good team. This is another example that you can set for the NBA, right? Detroit, at home, the number 1 team in the East. You blow them out. Cleveland, on a roll lately. Not like a Clippers roll, but still on a roll. Blow them out. It's not even close. You do this against LA, Harden or no Harden, it doesn't matter. You don't have Book. You don't have Jalen Green. You go out there tonight, you blow the brakes off of the Clippers, you beat the Clippers outright when only 4 teams have beaten them in the last 20 games. That is going to continue this momentum, this upward trajectory that this team is on, and it's going to make me feel real nice. I'm at a 9.
Yeah, but then you've only beat a team that couldn't even get an all-star when they had the game at their own home
In their
arena.
best.
I mean, how good could they be? I'm
No, don't worry. You have a chance against an all-star on Tuesday against Portland. But look, tonight's game, it's important. It's not the end of the world. No regular season game is the end of the world, unless it is for me. But we do have some keys to the game from Steven on how the Suns can pick up a victory. I say point because key number 1 is point of attack impact. That's a bar and an important one there at key number 1. Key number 2, half-court offensive tempo versus the Clippers' pressure. And key number 3, intention with tags. Don't let Zubac roll free on rolls and on roams and short rolls. Half-court offensive tempo versus Los Angeles's pressure. I think we've talked a lot about LA's offense, Gil, but their defense has been pretty damn good too.
Right. You think about the guys they have on their team. Kawhi Leonard, as much as we talk about him and he does on offense, and he's a step slower just given age, but he's still one of the best defenders out there. Chris Dunn, a hound defensively. Ivica Zubac, great rim protector, was getting all defensive player of the year buzz a little bit last year, and Brook Lopez coming in and kind of filling in a little bit after as well. So you think so much, and especially the emphasis that they've put on getting back in transition, they're going to make you work for it on that side of the floor, and especially on a game where offensively they might be a little more limited as far as what they do. They're probably going to try to slow the game down and make you work for it a little more and bring this game into the mud. So executing, not getting caught late in shot clock situations will be really, really important for the Suns tonight against the Clippers defense.
Don't give up the easy baskets. I think the Zubac thing is the important key to me is don't give anything easy to the Clippers. If they're going to make it tough, you got to go back and make it tough for them as well. So I don't think that I don't think this will be easy. I think this is one of the better defenses that you're going to face, and you have to execute again close to flawlessly to come out and have the kind of performance you've seen the last 2 games. They did the little things. They forced the turnovers. They were good on the boards, and they played smart offensively. You got to do that again against the Clippers.
No Harden tonight. I think a lot of the times you look at that and go, oh, well, that obviously plays in the Suns' favor, and I think it does. But let's be honest here. Harden's the type of player the Suns have actually done well against defensively this year. Cade Cunningham, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jalen Brunson, these ball-dominant guards that they have been really good perimeter-wise, attacking them, defending them. Jordan Goodwin, Ryan Dunn, Dillon Brooks, everybody, honestly. Center rotation tonight, the Clippers have 2 centers that the Suns have an archetype struggled with. Zubac, big, bruising, rim running, rebounding, like a guy that has just eaten the Suns' lunch for the last couple of years. Then you have Brook Lopez off the bench, right? Brook Lopez is kind of hot or cold when it comes to his scoring or how many shots he takes, but he does have the ability to score double digits in Big 2026. He's still a very effective 3-point shooter. Pop quiz, do you know Brook Lopez's season high in points this year?
27.
17.
31.
Whoa.
31 points against Portland the day after Christmas. He was 9 of 14 from deep. Those were all of the shots that he made on the night.
They buried that one under the rug. I didn't hear about that one.
9 of 14 from deep. He's a shooter, right? And we've seen the Suns struggle with some of these bigs that can shoot threes, even down to like a Quentin Post type who's not dominant, but can still shoot it. Brook Lopez still effective and a very different player than what Zubac is. So no Harden setting them up. So that's definitely interesting as far as playmaking goes. But those are 2 archetypes the Suns have struggled with. And another game for Mark Williams and Oso to kind of redeem themselves because they played the Cavs last game. And the first time they played the Cavs, that was a matchup nightmare for Oso and Mark. They played much better the next night around. I wonder if we see a better performance from those 2 tonight.
Well, Oso was in that kind of lost phase of the season when they played the Clippers all 3 times, really, where he just hadn't figured out who he was going to be. So I expect a much better game from Oso against the Clippers tonight. Mark's got to step up. You got to figure out the Zubac question and play good defense, but also have an impact on offense. I want to see Mark get out there and get some easy looks. I want them to see them get him involved early, because I think that helps everything offensively. When Mark gets some of those easy back buckets early, then it makes the Clippers or anybody you're playing have to think twice about, hey, we got to stay home on this guy. We can't switch too much, all those kind of things that then should lead to easier 3-point looks too.
That's interesting that you said that, Espo. And I think that when you think about those two bigs, I'm concerned about them for obviously the reasons that they present. With Zubac, I think that he's going to miss James Harden's absence the most, but at the same time, I think he counteracts that by offensive rebounding and being active on the glass right there. So that's going to be Mark Williams' task on the defensive end, keeping him off the glass. But to your point, Zubac is fleet of foot. He can move his feet defensively, but he's not necessarily more agile than Mark Williams. So can you get some rim runs? Can you beat him down the floor? Can you make him work and tire him out? I think that'll be big for Mark Williams as far as that goes. And I think Brook Lopez, I think, worries me a little bit more. His shooting ability, his ability to get hot from deep and go off like that. That, I think, is what the Clippers will try to take advantage of, just given Zubac's reliance on James Harden's playmaking. One thing that stood out to me, in addition to the amount of times that James Harden's assisted Zubac, the last 2 games without James Harden, Zubac has taken a total of 10 shots combined. Now, he got to the line 8 times against Golden State, but still only took 3 shots in that game. So if he's that limited, he won't be himself.
Couple other names to keep in mind tonight. Jordan Miller is probably one that Suns fans aren't super familiar with. He's really come into his own since early in the season. He's averaging 8.7 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, and assists and a half per game. As a guard without James Harden, he might see the ball in his hands a little bit more often than not. And then obviously you've got other guys that Suns fans should be familiar with. Bogdanovich, right? John Collins, Chris Dunn. Players that we've seen play against the Suns for a very long time. Out of those 3, Gil, which one are you most worried about, and why is it Wake Forest alum John Collins?
You read my mind. You know me well, but genuinely thinking, and again, looking at the numbers, he's actually scoring more when James Harden is out. He's shooting the ball more from deep when James Harden is out. So I think John Collins, things open up a little more for him offensively. Not that he doesn't benefit from James Harden's playmaking and things like that, because he absolutely does. Everybody on this team does. But I think they look towards him more. Against the Lakers a couple weeks ago, he had a dagger 3 in the corner. So his ability to shoot that corner 3, which would have been nice if he had when he was in Winston-Salem a couple years ago, but he's added a lot to his game over the past decade that he's been in the league. I think that's big for him, and that's somebody they look for more when the offense is a little more free-flowing and less ball-dominant with the ball in James Harden's hands.
There's one other name that we have to take into consideration this game. I believe Scott Foster is reffing. And the question is, which former Chris Paul team is he going to take it out on tonight?
What if Chris Paul just shows up in the middle of the game?
Just sitting courtside.
Yeah. Oh, that would be so sick.
He's already done it once this year.
I was about to say, if you put some money on that, you'd probably make a lot of it, but I'm not making a lot. In our pregame picks presented by Bet365, sign up, use code PHNX365, deposit 10, place a bet for 5, get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 21 plus, physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, text NEXT-STEP to 53342, or visit problemgambling.az.gov. Okay, that's our standings. Let's go ahead.
Move on.
Okay. Gil, what are you putting your money on?
Oh, quick one. Grayson Allen, 15 plus points. Ivica Zubac, 10 plus boards. Oso Ighodaro, 5 plus boards. Plus 310 odds at a 25% profit boost. We'll see how it goes.
Espo, you staying calm as well?
I got to be honest, and this is embarrassing. So the first 2, Dillon Brooks, 30-plus points. Grayson Allen, 20-plus points. I thought I hit Collin Gillespie for the last one. But I'm going John Collins, 10-plus points, plus 1,300 or plus 25% profit.
The stats are in your favor, as Gil said, with James Harden out.
You realize that's what I'm going to hit is when I accidentally made the bet. So.
I decided to go what I feel like was reasonable tonight. Usually I say that before an unreasonable bet, but
I thought there was like 40.
I hit the right Collin. I got Collin Gillespie at 15 plus points. Didn't expect Jalen to play tonight. I have Jordan Goodwin over 6.5 assists and rebounds. I think he's going to have to help out with Zubac out there. I got Dillon Brooks 20 plus points. Plus 410 with a 25% profit boost. Not going to dig me out of my negative 200 hole, but
chip away, man.
See one go through the hoop. I've been trying to get these big ones. I feel like this is an okay bet.
why does it dig your way out of a hole? Like you gotta go the opposite. Like,
climb your way out.
yeah, shouldn't it? And that's not
You
a knock on you.
I'm
That's
not even
just
gonna lie.
unfair.
You just fucking blew my mind.
like
Like
I'm about to dig further to try to get out. I'm
You're
gonna
gonna
go
curve
the
back up.
yeah.
bro,
yeah.
my life has just changed forever because I've never thought about that before. Okay,
It just hit me. So.
Freckle Mambo, go because I don't even know what to say right now.
Oh, so Iguodala, 12 plus PRA. Collin Gillespie, 2+ 3-pointers made. Phoenix Suns winning by a little bit more than the normal spread, -6.5, 410, 25% profit boost.
I'm still at a loss for words.
Well, why don't you try to dig yourself out of that mental hole so we can get you back?
Like, do you dig to the side and then you dig up, but then
Or are
you're
you
still in
digging
another
straight
hole?
down to get through the other side of the earth, which is an impossibility. Why are you doing it that
Dig
way?
yourself out of a hole and then into a ditch is basically what that's saying. Will the Suns be able to? There's no segue there. What do we think the Suns win tonight? Let's go ahead and take a look at
Will
that.
the Suns blow our minds tonight?
Yeah, clean sweep across the board, all going with the Suns, all in a relatively close game. Nobody in double digits, but Gil, you're the closest at a 9-point victory.
Yeah, I think I've looked at the Clippers. I don't know if their offense is going to hum the way they want it to, and I think that's why the Suns will create some separation.
Yeah. Well, only one way to find out. Let's watch the game. We're not going to watch it together, but we will be back here together for a post-game show. If you need something to listen to during the game, go back to our All-Star Reaction watch-along / basically a breaking news podcast, talking Book, talking Brooks, talking All-Star reserves for the East, for the West. Espo came out the gate bashing 90s and 80s and 70s basketball. It's pretty awesome.
And Madison Square Garden.
Well, Madison Square
and
Garden's a
LeBron.
dump.
So it was.
LeBron's an old over-the-hill bastard. I'm with Dillon, all right?
We'll be back for the post-game show. Follow the show at PHNX_Suns. You can follow the Freckled Mamba at Freckled Mamba. You can follow Espo at Espo. You can follow Gil McGregor _. You can follow me at ERIKRUBY. Bye.